Xander Zayas versus Roberto Valenzuela Jr. 10 rounds. This is on the undercard of Lopez versus Gonzalez. Let's get into it. Let's start with Xander Zayas. 16 wins, no losses, 10 wins by way of knockout. By now, you know what Zayas is about. You know the talents. You see the skills. It's not hard to see the potential of this young man. I think he's, 21 years old now. He's trending in the right direction. I was looking at the rankings the other day, and the WBC had him ranked at number 15, 16 or 15, I believe it was, which is good because he doesn't need to rush things, right? I think if he can get past Valenzuela, then we might see him in the next year more fighting those top 10, top 15 guys. But for right now, man, I think his upward trajectory, they're moving and handling him well. Let's talk about his last fight. In his last fight, he fought Ronald Cruz back in June, right? Cruz is a solid opponent, a guy who has experience, a guy who'll give you a tough fight, right? And he's tough. You know what I'm saying? He's never been stopped before. So it was interesting to see how Zayas would fare against Cruz. Early on, Zayas dropped him in the first round with a beautifully timed right hand, quick shot, and capitalized off of Cruz's mistake. Zayas was in control of the fight from the jump, I felt like. I liked how well he was using his jab, right? And how he was putting forth his punches, going to the head and going to the body, not being predictable with his work, with the shot, with his timing. And he looked very snappy, man. Shots looked snappy, good pop on them. It was stinging. I really like what I saw. I think it was the 7th round, if my memory serves me correctly, where he put forth a 4-piece chicken nugget combination and every single shot connected. It was pretty to watch, man. When a fighter puts together a great sequence, it's poetry in motion, which is exactly what I was just describing. There's not much to dislike about Zayas, man. I feel like every time he fights, he shows us something different, something new, and he shows us a different part of his style in his package, man. Cruz was the one that was actually the veteran, but when the fight started, Xander Zayas looked like he was the veteran that night. He looked great in his last fight. Really like what I saw. But let's talk about his opponent, Roberto Valenzuela Jr. 21 wins, 4 losses, and 20 wins by way of knockout. In his 4 losses, he has only been stopped once. 24 years old, but he's fought some good competition. He's fought Suleiman Sisesco, I believe his last name is, Alexis Rocha, and we know how Rocha, the momentum that he's been on, the trajectory he's been on, how much he's gotten better, right? He's been on a tear in his last fights. Valenzuela is a guy who is going to bring the pressure, man. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to load up, and he's going to try and make you fight his fight. And if you get sucked into fighting his fight, it's going to be a longer night for you than it needs to be. When he fought Suleiman, it was a very exciting fight. He caught Suleiman on the ropes with a nice right hand and just started to let his hands fly and dropped Suleiman. Suleiman got back up and dropped him moments later. I was just like, okay, so this is the type of energy that we're on. This is the type of fight that we get to see. Very exciting fight. And it seemed like when Valenzuela got dropped, the more he got more engaged in the fight, right? Because he is a guy, he seems to like those wars. Like, he doesn't mind taking a risk. If he can let his shot off, man, he doesn't mind taking one. This is a guy who believes in himself, right? And when he fought Suleiman, man, it was a great fight. Suleiman made better adjustments and started to box more than brawl and got back to fighting his style, and he was able to get the win. In his last fight, he fought Daniel Vega, who he was able to get the stoppage in 3 rounds, came in and he knew what he needed to do. It didn't waste no time. He was the younger man in that fight by far, but he didn't play around. He went straight to work, got him out of there, and kept moving forward and closed out the show. I'm looking forward to this one, man. I think it's going to be an exciting fight, and I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth action with these two men. We should get a very nice fight. So who wins? I like Xander Zayas to win this fight. I'm leaning towards this one by way of stoppage. Suleiman was able to drop Valenzuela Jr., and he's not even a puncher like that. And I think Zayas has more power in his shots, and the speed and the placement, I think, will be effective this fight, man. But if Zayas goes in overconfident and he just stands there and trades shots and doesn't become defensively responsible, man, it could be a much tougher fight than it needs to be. Valenzuela wants this fight to be an all-out type of war type of fight. So if he can get Zayas to fight his fight, I think that's going to be his best chance of winning this fight. But I think Zayas is going to come in. He's going to be patient because he knows this guy can punch, and he's not going to take him for granted. And I feel he is going to break it down round to round before closing out the show in the later rounds, man. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a couple ways you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly, greatly appreciated. We got a membership section going on the channel. I don't always get to do all the suggested videos you guys suggest in the comment section below. But if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to get those done for you that week. Or if you'd like to become a member just to support the channel, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated as well. Shout out to everybody that continues to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate each of you. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.